Greetings, Commanders! Well, I got a really strange email the other day, or in-game mail, and someone offered to sell me billions of resources for real money. And I thought, here we go, another scam. But I decided, why not say yes and let's see what happens? Well, I did. And here we are 2 days later. So, I bought a bunch of resources with real money. I'm a billionaire, baby. I actually bought 3 billion resources total, and it started with an email like this. Now, obviously, this is 2 days later, so there's been a journey that I'm going to explain and kind of talk about some ethics and overall how the process works, and I'll give my opinion on it. I'm going to tell you how I did it. So, a couple days ago, I get this email from an alt account. I mean, I don't know how much of a real account this is, but the person says, sale of resources, 1 billion food and parts, 900 Chinese yuan or whatever, which is like $120. And then 5 hours later, he messages me, would you like to ask you to buy resources? And this time I said, you know what? I'm going to reply to this one. And I said, yeah, how much are you going to sell me? Is that about $112? Parts or cash? Do you sell cash? You know, something like that. Or parts and food and cash. And he says, this is the price. It's 1 billion for 800 Chinese yuan. Like, he priced it higher in the first email, and then he lowered it back to something, I guess, more reasonable, more the going rate. You got to understand is our game is kind of like a recreation of EVE Online. It's the mobile version of EVE Online. I think really that's what they were going for. They realized how much money and how interactive EVE Online is that they wanted to recreate it in a cell phone game and make it super pay to win. But markets emerge and economies emerge and a secondary market emerges, and it comes in the form of resource farmers, right? And I'll talk about Diablo here in a minute, but I want to remind everyone this episode today is brought to you by Patreon. Patreon is really what funds this channel. And without getting into the nitty-gritty, if you want to sign up for Patreon, $15 a month supports this channel. You get the Founders Mug just for signing up, right? $15 value there. The third month, you get the, the Zenith Series number 12 poster, right? Shipped right to your door from patreon.com. No extra charge there. That just comes. It's really awesome. They're huge. I have one over here. If you're the 95th patron, you will get the Techman Moonstar poster signed, delivered to your doorstep for the first 95 people that sign up for Patreon. And I'm missing something. Oh, you also get to directly contact me on patreon.com or online. You also get recommendations for episodes of Pimp My Arc and Arcs if you have a friend you want to have in an episode. And you get early access to all these videos a day or a week in advance, depending on what the content is. So if you're watching this now and you're not a Patreon member, just know that patrons probably had access to it at least last night. All right, back to the video. Now, thanks for everyone who supports this channel. You guys are great. So anyway, I messaged this guy and I said, yeah, how do you want to do this? You want to go on WeChat? And I said, is there anyone that you trust, or is anyone that you can give me a referral? Because I'm not just going to give up $100 to someone I don't know. So he gives me his WeChat information, and there we go. I probably should blur that. Okay, so I start talking to the guy, and we get on WeChat, and he start explaining how the process worked. Now, this is all the details, back and forth, other alt accounts, and then he sets up a mule that has the purchase that I'm ready to make, right? So he puts a billion food on one, puts a billion food on puts a billion food on it, a billion parts on it, and then he only had 500 million cash at the time. It takes time to make these orders. These are farmed accounts. They're not just software coded in and created. So these are farmed accounts. I don't know how he does it. I don't know where all his ships are on the battlefield, but he definitely has the resources. And I trusted him. I saw the transaction, so I knew it was legit. So I go on PayPal, and we're on WeChat, and he gives me all this information. He gives me his name, his Chinese name, his family name, his full address, his tax ID, his telephone number. Basically, I add him as a business contact on a service that's called Zoom, like PayPal, but you can't do PayPal straight to China, apparently. You have to use this service called Zoom, and they charge $5, which is nothing if you're talking about hundreds of dollars, to be able to transfer to Chinese labor, right? I mean, I don't know if that sounds right. But anyway, I paid with Zoom. It went right to his Chinese bank account. He had all his bank account information. It wasn't instant. I did it at noon, and he didn't get it until 6 o'clock today. But there's almost like a level of trust, because when you engage in a transaction like that, you almost give each other all of your personal information to be able to do an international transaction, assuming it's not all fake. But point is that I was able to get a billion food, a billion parts, and a billion cash for $370 after the fees, right? And the way he did it was he put a ship on a map. He messaged me and said, you know, stay in Centicon. There's zero taxes here. Remember, Centicon is a zero tax zone. And even though you hit ships, his ship was over here in Area 17, was it? Yeah, he was down in Area 17. Now, even though Area 17 has taxes, they're in the middle tax bracket. When I hit him, I speed marched him with gold 5 times, whatever. I took all the resources with 0 tax plunder, and then I would just jump next to myself, and he would respawn somewhere, and he'd tell me his location, and I'd hit him again. And that way, I could speed hit him, take all the resources, no one would see what we were up to, and hopefully you guys keep it private so no one hits him in the process. He doesn't like join the guild and send 10 million resources at a time. I just pillaged it all, and with a commander as big as mine, I was able to pillage 1 billion per hit, with the Diablo Hall and full Ranger March. So let's get to the real difficult part of this chat. One of the things we do in our game is we do our channel is arcs. And in the episodes of arcs, I talk about the cost of what it takes in real money to fill up a tier 12 slot of troops on a 1.6 million leadership commander. And it's kind of just 40,000. It's just in my head. I've done the math so many times. One max slot of 5333 leadership of infantry of T12 costs 40,000 real dollars to buy the resources. With the implementation of Chinese farmers and the ability to buy billions and billions and billions of resources, that price in our episodes of ARCs is going to drop from 40,000 a slot instead of $240,000 for a max army. So the cost of the entire army goes like this. It takes 17 billion resources. So food, parts, plus the third reagent adds up to about 17 billion resources. And you could buy 1 billion resources for $120, which comes out to about $2,040 per slot. Multiply that by 6, and you've got just over $12,000. So instead of being 40,000 for a slot, it's 2,000. Instead of being 240,000 for the whole army, it's 12,000. That is literally 20 times cheaper. Is that right? 20 times cheaper? Yes, 20 times cheaper. So our episode of ARCs moving forward are going to have different numbers. Wow. And that's all the implementation of paying Chinese farmers. Now there is an ethical question here. Should you be paying Chinese farmers? Is this funding child labor? Is anyone being harmed in this industry? Well, the answer is maybe, maybe. But look at it objectively. What are you actually doing? People are going to do this. It's a Chinese game. It's not Diablo. It's not Blizzard. They're not going to stop people from setting up sweatshops to take advantage of child labor. Are children doing it? Maybe. I don't know. Probably. But there is also probably supercomputer. Also, are there children playing this game that are doing it not getting paid? I don't know. It's not an industry. I understand there's an ethics question here. I don't know if that putting this video out there is going to spawn an even bigger paid resource industry for our game, but there's one thing you can't deny is that players that are into this game for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, knowing that resources can be 20 times cheaper by paying farmers than buying it from the game, they're going to start using those services. So you guys are loyal fans of this channel. This is what we do. We talk about interesting things about this game. And frankly, we're documenting the history of this game. This is the craziest game. That's one of the joys of this channel is that I'm so thankful to be in an opportunity to present this information, have people watch it, help people fund it, and kind of explore this. Kind of like, when you saw a game really explode, like World of Warcraft, EverQuest, StarCraft. It's nice to be at the forefront of Arc War. I don't want to put it in the same category as those legendary games, but anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here. I bought 3 billion worth of resources for $360, and now I'm going to build a massive tier 12 army because I got 6 hours left until this event ends, and I plan on spending it. So tell me what you think. You guys ever bought resources? Is it kind of a secret everyone knows about that I didn't know about? I mean, I knew about it, okay? I knew that people had tons of phones, and it's not against the rules. Technically, Seven Pirates knows people do this. Obviously, they see the resource transfers going on. People get paid for it that are part of this, and I don't know if I should say it like that, but they know. And as long as people are using multiple devices and multiple accounts and they're stealing it by pillaging, that follows the rules. Even if they know that people are selling resources, they don't seem to be wanting to ban them. I don't know. Is it bad for the game? Is it good for the game? Check the comments below. Upvote the ones you agree with, downvote the ones you don't, and write one in if you don't see your opinion recognized there, and hit a like on this video. This was an expensive video to do, so a little bit of, if we could make $6 or $8 on ad revenue, that'd be great. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Video every day. Thanks for watching.